Heyo! Fincastle86 and the Big Cheese with 3 minutes of genealogy wisdom. You have to be accurate when you do genealogical research. Remember, those products that you create, family tree, ebook, a hard copy family history book, they need to be accurate because in the end, you are creating knowledge. And you don't want that knowledge, that new knowledge, even if it's old facts that people have forgotten, dusted off, put together into a digestible product for an audience of today and an audience of tomorrow. You don't want to pass on stuff that is full of errors, that is full of hearsay, and that is full of fiction. You don't want to pass fiction as fact. How do you do that? Academic rigor. You have to use a methodology in your research that proves that what you're saying is true, or at least caveats things. This could be true, this might not be true, and that is a lot of that is based on sources. What is the foundation of academic rigor? Critical thinking. Take everything with a grain of salt. When you have a family legend, when you have an oral history, remember back in kindergarten playing the telephone game? Oral history is can be riddled with errors. Sometimes family legends are true, but a lot of times they're full of mistakes. Even records, and records are generally, federal records, birth certificates, census records, things like that, generally are accurate, but there can be errors in there too. There can be misspellings, dates can be written down wrong, particularly the farther back you go in history, it tends to be, the spellings are not necessarily standardized, there are more errors. How are we going to look at sources? Sources are key. You want to use multiple sources to prove key facts. If you want to say that your great-great-grandfather was born in a certain place, come up with a hypothesis where you think he was born, and then try and disprove it. Try and prove it. Come up with the sources, but don't come up with just one source. You need to find out where he was born and then find multiple sources to kind of triangulate the truth, so to speak. Look at the quality of your sources. Obviously, government records are generally going to be the most respectable. But oral histories can add to it, and if somebody in your family, maybe back in the 40s or 50s, typed up a family, Jones history of the Jones family kind of document, or maybe there's a book published about your history, sometimes that stuff is based in whole or in part on oral history. So you can't use that as a single source. You can't use that as a source that, this is the history of your family, because there could be a lot of mistakes, there could be a lot of exaggerations and tall tales in there. However, I want to add this. Genealogy is a hobby, and don't let your quest for accuracy get in the way of having fun, because after all, although you have a responsibility as a researcher to produce knowledge, to produce products that are true and that are verifiable, and you set down your sources and you tell other people where you got this information, in the end, if you get it wrong and you tell people that you're descended from Thomas Jefferson when you're really not, nobody's going to get hurt. Okay, so try and keep it accurate, but at the same time, have fun doing it. And ultimately, the standard of methodological rigor and academic rigor is yours, and yours alone. Have fun out there, but my coffee is getting chilled, so cheers.